Okay. So, Krishna and Arjuna. And Arjuna's got a problem. The problem is he doesn't know how to respond to a particular situation in life. And Arjuna's problem is just our problem. We all have this problem. How to respond appropriately in every situation in life. And if we're not sure how to respond, we get emotional, we get upset, and we can just drop out. Get disassociated, you could say, or just become a dropout. Like, it means what? Try to avoid the whole existential thing altogether in various ways. Through drinks and drugs and sex and distractions. That's the whole Western approach. Just to ignore it by distracting yourself with all kinds of activities and so forth and so on. Or you can just face the problem and deal with it. Find out what the cause is. And so Arjuna, he realizes that the problem's out of his hands. That the solution is out of his hands. He doesn't know enough about himself and about the field of existence. He doesn't know enough about this or this to work his way out of this pickle he's in. So what does he do? It's a great moment, beautiful moment. He surrenders to Krishna. Krishna represents in this the self. So whenever we say Krishna, it's the self talking. We're going to have a small problem here because we're going to have to explain the difference between the pure self and the self as the creator of the universe. There's a distinction between the self and the creator of the universe. And in this one, he's speaking sometimes as the pure self, or he's speaking about the pure self, and sometimes he's speaking as what? The creator of the universe, Jagat Karanam. And that's his role as an avatar. In his role as an avatar, he's speaking as this. But however it is, he's taking the position of the self. So he represents in you that part of you that doesn't change. That part of you that's always present and eternal. Your own awareness is represented by Krishna here. And Arjuna represents that part of you that wants to know. That part of you that's living here in this world, that's trying to get free of what? Of this world. So it's a dialogue between the self and the not self, between the Atma and the Anatma. It's a dialogue. It's a friendly dialogue. These guys are friends. And I said yesterday, or maybe it was last night, in our tradition, the Guru's your friend. We don't want to sit up on top and rain down the truth. We're available as a person directly across from you. If you have a question, just present your question. Do not be frightened of me. Please. I'm a really warm, fuzzy, nice guy. I got a bit of a bite. But I'm really a good guy. So you can ask your question, not to worry. Anyway, so that's the situation. So he says, Krishna says, Arjuna says, okay, I don't know it. Please tell me. It's a beautiful moment when you surrender to a teacher. It's a beautiful moment when you really, really accept it's an acknowledgement of your understanding of your own ignorance and your own limitation. You just let go. You say, I can't figure it out. Please help me figure it out. So Krishna rains down the truth. He says, what is real, unreal does not exist. What is real never ceases to exist. This knowledge will set you free. Know that to be indestructible, which pervades the whole universe. No one can bring about the destruction of that which never changes. The self, which is not an object of knowledge, is indestructible, even though it lives in dying bodies. Anyone who thinks that the self kills or that it can be killed does not know the truth. It is not born, so how can it die? It is ever present and not subject to time. When the body dies, it does not die. How can you say that you are a killer if you know the self as it is? Here we've introduced the idea of the doership now. The killer means a doer. Arjuna thinks he's a doer. That's why he's got the problem. There's two paths in Vedanta. Vedanta comes from the Vedas, and the Vedas have two sections. The first section is called Pravritti Marga. It means the path of action, the path of doing. There you're going toward things to get results. The doer takes his or herself to be real and wants security, pleasure, virtue, power, fame, blah, 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 you name it, offspring, whatever you want. And that part of the Veda helps you to get what you want. So there you're all outward turned and you're going for stuff in the world. Fair enough. And the Veda is going to help you with that, to achieve your ends in this world. It's kind of like a spiritual materialism. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with pursuing things in the world. That's what the doers do. That's why the doer's there. It wants stuff in the world. But here Vedanta has the Vedas have a second section. That's called Vedanta, and that's called Nivritti Marga. Marga means the path, and Nivritti means a path of withdrawal, a path of going away. And where are we going away? Where does this path lead? It leads away from the notion that I'm a doer. Because what happens when you're going for stuff, you start wondering, why am I doing this? What's going on? Why isn't this working? Why isn't it every time I get something, I'm still not satisfied? If you got what you want, and it was worth getting, then you'd be satisfied for good, wouldn't you? But as soon as you get what you want something else, don't you? So that means the doer's got a problem. The doer wants satisfaction, lasting satisfaction, but he's not getting it. And so what Vedanta says is, okay, the problem is that what? You take yourself to be a doer. I know. And when you come to like spirituality, the doer thinks what? The doer stays, doesn't it? And it thinks it's going to get enlightened now. So and that doesn't work either. That's chasing all this spiritual crap. The doer just starts chasing spiritual crap, and after a while he or she finds, oh, same problem. I get all my spiritual states, I get all my spiritual experiences. At the end of the day, I'm still not satisfied. Why? Why is it? Because the doer has never been looked into. So Vedanta says, okay, let's get you away from the doer. Get you away means let's look at the doer from what? The self's point of view. And see whether or not you're the doer or not. You've got to see whether it's true or not. I can tell you this, the scripture can tell you this, but you have to look and see. Am I the doer or am I what? Am I the knower of the doer? It's a difference. It's a subtle difference, but it's a big difference because the self is not a doer. Because it's non-dual. Non-dual means it can't do. So who am I is the question here. So Nivritti Marga is moving away from this idea that I'm a doer. Because it's this concept that I'm a doer, enjoyer, experiencing entity that with limited knowledge and experience that's producing the suffering. That's what Vedanta says. So, how can you say that you're a killer if you know the self as it is? Just as a person changes old clothes for new, the indweller gives up its old body for a new one. Weapons cannot destroy the self. Fire can't burn it, nor can water wet it. The wind cannot dry it. It is changeless, all-pervading, immovable, and eternal. Knowing that it is not an object of thought, and not subject to change, you should not grieve. Even if you see the self caught in a constant cycle of births and deaths, you should not grieve, because what is born dies, and what is dies is reborn. It is foolish to worry about what cannot be changed. He's given him a double-barrel shotgun. Boom, both barrels. From this, boom, no, you can't escape. From this point of view, you can't do anything about it, and from this point of view, you can't do anything about it. If you're this person, you're going to die. You don't know how many breaths you've got allotted to you. You never know what is your last breath. You only know that this is not your last breath when what? The next breath comes. Isn't it? You don't know. You're going to die if you're this person, no doubt about it. There's just no other option. Nobody ever escaped the jaws of death here, ever. And it's just not going to happen. So, on that account, what are you worried about? It's inevitable. On this account, what are you worried about? This was never born, so it's not going to die. He's given him both arguments. You know, the doer's stuck here. It's caught. What can he think now? Where's the way out of this? See the dilemma Arjuna's in. Where are you going to go now? What's the doer going to do? He's got to what? He's got to let go, doesn't he? He's got to give up his grief, his sorrow, his what? Expectation that things should be different from what they are. Remember, we said this death thing is just a symbol of change. It's a dramatic symbol that the poet, the seer or the rishi who gave us this text, uses to talk about our relationship to change. Never mind death. Leave death out of it. Death it's too scary. You know. Death just, every minute things are coming into being and dying. Every second a thought is being born in you, a feeling is being born in you, and every second another thought is what? Dying. In fact, this thought can't come up as long as this thought is here. This thought has to die for this next feeling or thought to be born, doesn't it? The mind can't think two things at once. This doesn't work. Oh no, I'm a multitasker. I can think 8 things at once. No, you cannot. No way. There's no such thing as multitasking. The mind thinks one thought, and then another thought, and then another thought, and then another thought. It's tick, 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 this, or it's like this, and then this one comes up and that one goes down. It's boop, 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 boop. So,